What I like about the CEOs is I really get to pick someone's brain, ask them questions more than just, oh yeah, tell me about Compassionate Beauty. No, I want to find out more about what led to Compassionate Beauty. And my guest is Saundra Shapiro. She is the CEO of Compassionate Beauty. But way before Compassionate Beauty, she had started Beaners. And if you are a young parent, you probably know about Beaners when it came to that first traumatic haircut and how Beaners made it just a little bit more special for your kids. Saundra, yes, Beaners did very well, but at what point did you say, okay, this is going to be a franchise? Because I'm assuming at the beginning it was just one salon.
It was a small loan. I worked for every dime to get out of debt. So absolutely, there was no huge ideas to franchise it out. But then it became a destination. And I really felt that more people wanted to have the Beaners experience. So we started to expand. And my first couple of franchisees were actually girls that had worked for me. So it was really easy. They knew what made it work, how to make it work. They really believed in the brand and what we stood for.
Give me a time frame, though. So how long was it before you said, okay, I think I'm ready to open up a few more Beaners?
8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
At some point also, did you reach a point that you thought this has to go to the next level? Is that why the time then?
Absolutely. But again, it was financing. I was a single mom. The costs were really high and onerous as far as getting all the legal documents together and really coming out with a package and not being this little small business that just wanted to grow, but really having a set concept.
So when did you then say, I don't want to say you've had enough of Beaners because you never did, but when did you say, I want to take another path in my life here?
The path came to me. So there was my cross in the road when one of my clients from Beaners walked in and said, would I help her shave her head because she had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer? Well, if that isn't a stop in anybody's step, what we did was Sunday, because this was before stores were open on Sunday. I opened up the store for her, dimmed the lights, put on some soft music, and as gently as one could, helped her do a loving head shave. And that became sort of my aha moment. And I thought, okay, Beaners is going to be okay on its own. I can let that baby go. But one day, I really need to find a way to open a store to help women go through this process because it was huge.
And that's why I want to talk about going back to school. Here you are, was it around 40?
Yes, okay, it was around 40.
No, and really anyone listening shouldn't say it was 40. You can bet there's someone listening saying, she did it when she was 40. What's stopping me from doing it? Tell me about the MBA path you took then. It was through Queen's University?
So Queen's was such a great experience for me because they are the one university that really gets being an entrepreneur and marrying the two together. So every project that I did was on Beaners. Every example was my personal experience with Beaners. So my marketing became Beaners marketing. My projects became Beaners projects. So that really helped me to work together on the one thing, right? I wasn't all of a sudden doing a case study on something totally unrelated. I was just keep growing with the experts of the university on building Beaners.
At the same time, were you also involved with the Alberta Cancer Foundation?
Yeah. I always thought that when my first seed of what my girlfriend Gia was going through, when I shaved her head, I really wanted to get more entrenched in the business and the organizations that were out there. And I took an active learning and growing, and I got on the Canadian Cancer Board.
You must have seen there were areas that weren't being met when it came to services for individuals living with cancer.
You got it. That was my biggest learning. There was really very little service providers out there for families, women. I mean, there was lots of money going to research, lots of money going to advocacy programs and things like that. But really, who was in the community really taking care of these people?
And drawing from your experience when that Sunday that you went and helped have a very personal shave of head shaving, a compassionate head shaving, is that where you said, okay, there's the beginning of this. We can do so much more.
We could do so much more. The beginning happened when my best friend Louise was diagnosed with cervical cancer, and she wanted to have a facial. So what's so special about a facial? Becomes really special when you have no hair and you're too self-conscious to lay down in front of your esthetician bald. And that really started to tweak my whole learning of what a woman really would need going through a diagnosis. So she gets this huge diagnosis. She's in total panic and fear. Is she going to lose her hair? If it's breast cancer, is she going to lose her breast? What is she going to look like after? How is she going to get through those months of treatment? Is she going to have lymphedema? Where will she go for that? And sitting back and saying, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to, if you're on this protocol for chemotherapy, your hair loss is going to happen in 14 to 16 days. This is what it's going to feel like, look like. So we really take her down to knowledge, because knowledge is power, right? One of the things that we wanted to do is make that woman feel protected, so we don't have a locker room for women to change in, because a woman who's just had a brand new mastectomy might not be comfortable. So she gets the privacy of her own room, and she gets the feeling of comfort knowing that this woman who's about to help her be her therapist for that hour is well versed in cancer, hair, no hair, breasts, no breasts, whatever they are. We just have no judgment and just want to care for them.
Anyone listening, Saundra, sometimes they say, I've got an idea. I really want to do this. It seems in talking to you, you weren't the person who said, I want to create a business. They almost came to you. That must be a bit of advice for people as far as listening or listening to those spidey senses you might just have that, wait, that might be an idea right there.
Right. So it's listening to your inside voice, waiting for some need to show up, because if you have the need, chances are somebody else did. So Gia had the need, and chances are, unfortunately, thousands of others had the need. And then being excited and confident of bringing that to fruition.
But it's not easy, is it?
It's not easy. It's not easy.
And
so you need great support.
Yes.
You need integrity in everything you do, because you need to, as my father always said, look yourself in the mirror in the morning and be true to who you are and just keep fighting the odds.
Are there other qualities that you admire, maybe in yourself, but also in others? I mean, that's a key one from your father, but are there others that you want to make sure that you bring to your job every day?
We have this brand promise of compassionate beauty, and it says, we're there to care for you as if you were our mother, our best friend, or our sister. And I think that our staff do that every day in our store. And that has become a motto that we all live with. And I know the girls in the store think that before everybody walks into their individual rooms.
Saundra, thanks so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.